After a snowy Thursday night in Cleveland, the city by the lake, the Steelers return to AFC North action along the Ohio River this time as Pittsburgh will visit the Cincinnati Bengals. We have the latest on this matchup coming up next as you are watching Steelers Kickoff here live on KDKA TV.
Welcome to BetMGM Steelers Kickoff.
Good morning, everyone. It is a game day. Paycor Stadium, site of a very important AFC North matchup as the Steelers battle the Bengals along the banks of the Ohio River, a game you will see live on KDKA TV. And here is our look from field level. A cold morning in Ohio, but no snow this part of Ohio as the Steelers look to right the ship after a tough loss up north in Cleveland 9 days ago. And welcome inside KDKA TV studios for another edition of Steelers Kickoff. I'm Bob Pompeani, along with Charlie Batch, the quarterback of the program. As usual, Gerry, Dulac, and Rich Walsh will be along here momentarily. Today is the second of 5 more division games in a stretch of just 7 weeks. And I know HBO and the Hard Knocks people love this, Charlie, but do you like this schedule with so many backloaded AFC North games?
I do like it because in December you want to be playing your best football, get hot at the right time. And what better way for you to do that against meaningful opponents, knowing that your division foes are there, and this outweighs anything else on your schedule. So if you want to get to the playoffs, it starts now.
And you won't see many remaining schedules around the NFL look as difficult as the Steelers for the next month or so. Let's take a look. Plenty of AFC North battles left here between the Bengals twice, the Browns, also the Ravens. Add in the red-hot Eagles and Chiefs into that mix. It's going to be a tough road to travel to the end of the season for Pittsburgh. And the Steelers are still on top of the AFC North at the moment. The Ravens are nipping at their heels. The Bengals are a long shot to make the playoffs, but this team is not eliminated yet, and they have quick strike ability so far. They're also dangerous, and they're very desperate. So, Charlie, how many of these divisional games do you think the Steelers need to win over the stretch to really claim the AFC North championship?
Yeah, 4, I think they give you a co-division winner, right? But I think to win this division and the way everything is unfolding right now, this team is going to have to win 5 of the 6 games that they have. So I think this is going to be exciting to watch, and if anybody's up for the task, Mike Tomlin is going to have this crew ready to rock and roll.
Well, it's really incredible how well the Steelers play in division games under head coach Mike Tomlin over the years. Since 2007, look at this, the Steelers have a winning record in the 700 percentile here against the entire AFC North. 26-11 against the Bengals, including a playoff win, 26-8-1 against the Browns, and 22-16 against the Ravens. So all good there. And for more on news and notes surrounding this matchup, let's go out to the field, Paycor Stadium, and join Rich Walsh standing by with Post-Gazette Steelers insider Gerry Dulac.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. You heard them talking about how good the Steelers are against AFC North team. They're also good against winning teams, which helps them trend in the right direction if they want to win in the postseason, doesn't it?
You know, Rich, they're the only team in the AFC that has a perfect record against winning teams. They're 5-0, and the only other team that can say that are the Detroit Lions. So what that tells me is when they play the better teams, they are able to raise their game and match up with them. Now, we'll see how that plays out. But, you know, Rich, I go back to the 2008 season. The Steelers were 12-4, and their 4 losses were to the best 4 teams in the league, and that would make you think, okay, that's really not going to work. Once they get to the postseason, they went to the Super Bowl and won. So I don't always know what it means, but I think when you play well against the good teams, that's usually a good indicator.
Well, in order to win in the playoffs, you have to have a good offense, and this offense is trending in the right direction. Not quite there yet, but they have been using the tight ends more. I think they need to use Pat Freiermuth more.
Rich, not only do they need to use him more, they need to use him more in the red zone, and that's part of the problem that they see they're having, and I certainly see it as well, is their personnel groupings when it matters. Taking Pat Freiermuth out of the game on occasions in the red zone makes no sense to me. Now, I like the fact that they've incorporated Darnell Washington into the lineup more, but he has one more target than Pat Freiermuth the last 4 games, and Michael Pruitt playing 32 snaps last week is just another indicator about their personnel groupings. That's one of the things they're paying attention to, and it's one of the things they have to change.
I'd like to see Pat Freiermuth there instead of Cordero Patterson. Getting to the defensive side of the ball right now, one of the reasons they lost in Cleveland, they couldn't get pressure on a non-mobile quarterback. T.J. Watt was pretty much invisible. I would imagine that has to be the key here today. Get him to Joe Burrow. Burrow.
You know, Rich, what we're seeing every game is at least 2 guys on T.J. Watt. Now, the Bengals are seeing that with Trey Hendrickson there. He's having 2 guys on him every game, but he leads the league with 11.5 sacks. One of the things the Steelers are going to try to do today is move T.J. Watt around a little bit to see if they can get him more involved in that backfield. They'll see how it works, if it does, but I think they're going to at least try it.
All right, thanks a lot, Gerry. As always, good stuff. See you a little later in the show. For now, back to you guys in Pittsburgh.
You were going to say warm Pittsburgh. It is warmer, at least. Thanks, Rich. All right, Charlie, Alex Highsmith, we just found out, is inactive in this game. We thought he wouldn't play. He's not going to play. His absence is noticeable, as all 3 of the Steelers' losses have been with Alex Highsmith out of the lineup.
Yeah, and it's tough because, the pressure that he's able to bring on quarterbacks, and he's missed 5 games thus far. Nick Herbig, he missed another 5 games. So that obviously puts more pressure on T.J. Watt. We were hoping to get Alex back tonight. He's not. But this is going to be a big game for Nick Herbig to have to step up and put pressure on the quarterback. And right now, this team only has 25 sacks this year. That is unheard of for a Pittsburgh defense right now. So somebody else outside of T.J. Watt is going to have to step up today.
Yeah, they need to get more action there. There's no question about it. Russell Wilson has gotten the many long drives, but they haven't been able to finish many of those drives with touchdowns. It ends up in field goals, it seems. So what would you like to see them do differently in the red zone that they're not doing right now?
Yeah, for me, I would like to get Pat Freiermuth more involved, because this was a guy at Penn State, never dropped a red zone touchdown pass in the red zone. So when it gets to the NFL, you're expecting that. They did that early on in his career, but for whatever reason, they're not utilizing him. You paid him the big contract before the season. Use him and use his abilities there. So I think that's one area I think that they can potentially get better in.
You love to have Boswell, but you'd like to not use him in those red zone situations for sure. Paycor Stadium will be loud today in just a couple of hours. Ahead of Steelers and Bengals Chapter 1, you see some of the linebackers on the field right now live getting ready for this one. These 2 teams will meet in Pittsburgh to wrap up the regular season, so this game could impact what they do in that game. We're just getting started here on Steelers Kickoff. We head back out to Cincinnati. When we come back, Rich talked to one of the Steelers' most productive rookies this season. His story is coming up next right here on BetMGM Steelers Kickoff.
Welcome back to BetMGM Steelers Kickoff.
Well, it was another busy week for the Steelers players helping out in the community. Pat Freiermuth stopped by the Boys and Girls Club to serve Thanksgiving dinner to over 50 kids. He hung out with those kids while he ate and even handed out some food to each one of these tables. And Justin Fields did the same thing at the 412 Youth Zone on Tuesday. He spoke to several kids and handed out gift cards in addition to providing a full meal for everyone in attendance. Another player who has taken a good community service role is in his first season as a Steeler linebacker. That's rookie linebacker Peyton Wilson. The NC State alum has increased his role also in the Steelers defense by making some big plays and big moments. Rich Walsh had a chance to go one-on-one with number 41. Rich.
Bob, Peyton Wilson looks like a third-round steal for the Steelers right now, making big-time plays, helping this team win, getting high grades, and I had a chance to go one-on-one with the Steelers rookie before leaving for Cincinnati.
Payne, so could you imagine being in a better spot right now for you?
No, it's perfect. Draft night was obviously crazy. Fell a lot more so than I was expected to, like a lot more than I was expected to, and just, it kind of shows Jesus Christ and his beauty. This is a perfect spot for me. Super blue collared, NC State, super blue collar, and just, the people that's in my room, the coaches that are here, it's like, I can't thank Jesus Christ enough. It's a perfect fit, and it's just been amazing.
Were you disappointed that you fell that much? I mean, a lot of people had you in the first round.
Obviously, it was a tough, the first night, not so much, because it's like, oh, he might go, he might not. But the second day when I kept falling, it was tough. But like, as soon as I looked at my phone and I was getting a call from Pittsburgh, it was just like, oh, I know why now. Like, I know why I fell. I know where I'm going. And it's a good place. I can call this place home now.
As an inside linebacker, I couldn't imagine a better spot for you than Pittsburgh. I mean, look at the linebackers that came through here over the years.
Yeah, it's awesome. Even the ones we have now, like my room, Patrick Queen, E-Rob, 2 of the best linebackers in the game right now. It's just awesome to have those guys in my room, learning from them. And then obviously the history of Pittsburgh is what it is.
Do you look at stats at all? I know I saw the PFF stat. You're the second best linebacker.
Not really. Stats to get you screwed over, but no, it's cool. It's cool, but it's just a little grade. There's a lot more plays to be made, a lot more assignments that that I need to get better at. So just each day coming out here and getting better and trying to be the best player in the world.
Well, he's definitely putting up the stats. It could very well be the Steelers Rookie of the Year. I think it's a race, obviously, between Wilson and Zach Frazier. Both guys making an immediate impact right now. Guys?
All right, Rich, thanks very much. That play against Justice Hill was something for sure. So Charlie Wilson has quietly put up some pretty good numbers in his rookie season. What do you like about his game? To me, it's that side-to-side speed.
Oh, yeah, he's flying around the ball, and right now, what better way for you to learn from E-Rob and Patrick Queen there in the middle? The game is slowing down for him. He had a career game with 10 tackles against the Jets. Picked up his first interception 2 weeks ago against the Ravens. So just expect to see more of him, especially in this Bengals game, because since he loves to throw the football around and that speed that he brings to the defense, he's going to have to go turn around and pick it up another notch. I'm not sure if he can, but it's going to be interesting to see.
All right, he seems to be up for all the challenges so far. When we come back, Rich is back with a deeper look at the Cincinnati Bengals. Keep it locked right here on KDKA TV.
The AFC North game.
Cincinnati Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Who they think gonna beat them Bengals? Be the man or watch the man. Make history or become it. Win on three. 1, 2, 3. Win.
Who's going to land the big punch?
Post-Thanksgiving football is when the screws really tighten.
I say who they, you say we they. Who they? We they. Who they? We they. Who they? We they.
Can't get enough of the Who Day We Day by Bill Cowher. Hey, as we mentioned, the Bengals season has not gone the way they would have liked. Injuries and bad luck, really a major roadblock once this season began. It's continued. Rich is back with a deeper look at Cincinnati team that really, with any luck, Rich, could be 7-4 and not 4-7.
Yeah, no question about it, Bob. We're not far from Kings Island Amusement Park. Has some of the most thrilling rides in the Midwest, and the Bengals can definitely relate because their season so far has definitely been a roller coaster ride. The Bengals started off this season with very high expectations. Joe Burrow was back under center with tons of weapons at his disposal, but as they've done in the past, they started off slow. They dropped 3 of their first 4 games, largely due to the same old problems, a bad offensive line and a porous defense. But they righted the ship by winning 3 of their next 4, albeit against some of the worst competition in the NFL. After beating the lowly Raiders here in Cincy, they appeared primed to make another playoff run, but the roller coaster headed downhill once again as they dropped consecutive games to the Ravens and Chargers. Can they get this ride back on track? It's possible. All 7 of their losses have been close, and despite that bad O-line, they still have one of the most dangerous offenses in the NFL. Jamar Chase leads the league in both receiving yards and touchdown catches. Chase Brown is a legit dual-threat tailback and a matchup nightmare in the open field. And tight end Mike Gesicki is a terrific red zone target. And despite their losing record, Burrow has remained healthy and is having one of his best statistical seasons of his career. The reason they've lost more than they've won this season is defense. They've given up an average of 27 points per game and have been dominated by every opponent with a winning record. So if there is ever a chance for the ailing Steelers offense to get back on track, this game might be it. All right, today's South College game plan reinforces just how bad the Bengals defense has been this year. They rank in the bottom 5 in nearly every statistical category, and they've been especially bad on third down. They also haven't forced many turnovers, and they are nearly last in the league in sacks. All good for the Steelers. Other than it being cold here in Cincinnati, it's about 30 degrees. It should stay that way throughout the game. Not much wind. The only thing that could affect the passing game today would be the sun. Guys?
Yeah, well, it's not Dallas. They don't have to worry about putting up curtains. All right, Rich, thanks very much. And despite the poor record, Joe Burrow is still having a great season for the Bengals. I use the word great for a reason. And one of the big reasons why this team is dangerous as they go down the stretch. Burrow is leading the NFL in attempts per game, passing first downs per game, and touchdown passes, while second overall in completions per game and passing yards per game. And additionally, in the bottom third of the league in interceptions thrown, 27 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions. In this week's Quarterback analysis presented by Cleveland Brothers. Let's get a little bit more focus on Joe Burrow. And Charlie, he's having another wonderful year. There's no doubt about that. How would you defend him? Would you go after him? Would you lay back? What would you do?
Yeah, anybody that has 3,000 yards up until this point, you have to figure out a way to go after him. Up until this point, defensive coordinators, they chose not to blitz him. So that's why he's at the bottom of the league as it relates to pressure. But on the other side, the Steelers are 8th in the league with pressure. So now how are you going to be combative there? So when you look at defensive coordinator Terrell Austin, he's going to have to figure out what mix is going to happen, because you have to get the ball out of Burrow's hand, but also tackle the catch when he does. So it's going to be a jockey in position as it relates to what chess match happens here today.
And Chase Brown's one of those guys you definitely got to get in the open field. It's another big day of football here at KDK with several important matchups all over the NFL. That means the guys on the NFL Today, CBS, are busy. Let's get a preview from our friend James Brown in New York City. JB?
Hey, Bob, up next on the NFL Today, our doubleheader begins when we get you set for the divisional clash between your Steelers and the Bengals. And as we enter December, the guys discuss their favorites for MVP. Then Philly's fearsome linebacker duo, Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean, chop it up for our cameras. That's before we look ahead to our terrific late-game matchup between the Eagles and the Ravens. But first, Coaches guys, Bob and Charlie return when Steelers Kickoff continues here on KDKA.
Steelers Kickoff is presented by Ford. The Ford F-150 is the official truck of the Pittsburgh Steelers and the best-selling truck in Pittsburgh.
Well, you know, the Steelers obviously give us access every week in order to bring you shows like this one, but we do not have the access that the NFL Films and Hard Knocks has right now on the South Side. That show, Hard Knocks, is on site with cameras in every meeting room, catching every word the Steelers' preparation for these AFC North battles, and not just here, but in every AFC North. They are in attendance. So, Charlie, as a player, would you like that experience or would you hate that experience? I think I know how the coaches feel.
Yeah, I actually hate the experience because you don't want cameras overlooking everything that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. I mean, it's not that you're hiding anything. It's just the fact that you know everything is on camera, and it's just unfortunate.
But it is television. It makes money. Now it's time to look at who's in and who's out today against the Bengals. And on that list, the big name is Alex Highsmith. He was doubtful yesterday. He's now confirmed out today. Corey Trice, Montravius Adams also out of this occasion. All right, so it's almost done here. Before we go to break, though, Charlie, what's happening with the Best of the Batch Foundation? Because I know you always have a batch of toys for kids.
Yes, we do. We have our annual Batch of Toys holiday drive. And actually what we do is collect unwrapped toys, and then from there we wrap them and actually deliver them throughout the holiday season right before Christmas. So this is always important. This year we're adopting 400 families, which will impact over 1,800 kids this year. So for ways to be able to contribute, you can go to batchfoundation.org. You see all of our drop-off locations around the city, or the QR code that you see on the screen. We do have click and ship options that you can actually pick out the toys and then be able to send directly to us. So during this holiday season, we just want to thank you in advance for helping put smiles on kids' faces during this holiday season, because we truly appreciate you, and thank you for believing in what we're doing at Best of the Batch Foundation.
We appreciate what you guys have done too. That's 25 years in the making, and it's come quite a long way helping so many kids. Thank you, Charlie and Latasha. We're almost out of time here on Steelers Kickoff. After the break, the crew's going to give you predictions for this afternoon's AFC North matchup. It's Bengals, it's Steelers. Steeler fans in the house. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to BetMGM Steelers Kickoff.
Getting set for Bengals Steelers. Cincinnati is a 3-point favorite, surprisingly, in this game. So what do the guys think? Rich Walsh, you're on the clock first.
Obviously, trends matter. It mattered in short weeks, and they're not very good, but they're equally as good in long weeks with 9 days rest. The Steelers have won 12 of the last 14 with 9 days rest, and I think they win here today, including 2 times in Cincinnati out of that 12 of the 14. The only thing that worries me in today's game is the offense has been predictable, which would allow a bad Bengals defense in this game. I think the Steelers win this one 27-23.
All right, Rich, we'll check you out after the game. Charlie, what do you see?
Well, this is an opportunity for the Steelers to actually pour dirt on the Bengals season. And when you do that at home, you better believe the Steelers are going to figure out a way to do this. Today, they are going to find a way to pull this out 24-23 and a last-minute score, and they pull this victory out.
All right, Gerry Dulac agrees with you guys, thinks the Steelers are going to win. I, on the other hand, think the Bengals are going to win this game, and I say it because they are desperate, because they have Joe Burrow playing at a high level, and I also think they're coming off a full bye week. So it's, Steeler mini bye, they had a full bye, so it's going to be one of those games. It's going to be close no matter what. And you can see it all coming up today at 1 o'clock on KDKA TV. And then just a reminder, we have a full day of football for you. We always do on Sundays here on your home for the Steelers. We got the NFL Today on CBS. That's up next. Bill Cowher and company breaking it all down. Steelers Bengals 1 o'clock after the game. It'll be Arthur Moats joining me in place of Chris Hoke today, 4 to 5 to 6. We have 2 hours of post-game. The Extra Point Show brought to you by Ford and special Steelers edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We wrap it all up tonight around midnight with a #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. So that's going to do it for us. Thank you for joining us and look forward to a big game today, big week, big month. All these games head-to-head. It's going to be fun to see, but it's also going to be a tough task for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But we'll see how they handle it starting today in Cincinnati. That's going to do it. For all of us here, I'm Bob Pompeani. Have a great day. And later today, you'll see the action right here on KDKA from Paycor Stadium, where the Steelers hope to hit pay dirt. Have a good day.